The shadows of storm and night, the mysteries of life and light, from unearthly peculiarities, celestial and divine, to apparitions and transcendental signs. You're listening to the Spirit Podcast.
Welcome, listeners, to another episode of To the Spirit. Tonight, we're diving into the eerie, unsettling world of haunted asylums in the Northeast. Locations where the boundary between life and death feels especially thin. I'm your host, Beck, and joining me tonight is our guest guide, Peter. Together, we'll explore some of the most chilling asylums that have witnessed torment and tragedy, and have stories that linger long after the doors have closed.
Absolutely, Beck. These places are steeped in history. But I'm not talking about your usual kind of history. Some of these asylums are said to be permanently marked by the suffering of their former patients. Now, keep in mind, some of these asylums didn't just have a troubled past. Even today, there are claims that some of these asylums are where the spirits still haunt the halls, trying to communicate with the living.
Let's start with Hill View Manor in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Once a psychiatric hospital, this location is notorious for its history of neglect and mistreatment. Patients were often subjected to inhumane conditions, and many never left the facility. It's said that the spirits of former residents still roam the building, calling out for help. The unsettling thing? The sounds of whispers and footsteps are often heard by investigators, but when they go to check, there's no one there.
The thing about Hillview is that the energy there is unlike anything you'll feel at any other haunted spot. The spirits seem to be stuck in time, repeating their last moments or trying to reach out to those who visit. If you are brave enough to stay overnight, you might encounter some very disturbing paranormal activity. Reports have been made of objects moving on their own, as well as feeling sudden and unexplained temperature drops. It's as if the asylum refuses to let go.
Next up, we have the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston, West Virginia. It's one of the largest hand-cut stone buildings in North America, and it's known for its terrifying history of overcrowding and poor treatment of patients. The asylum housed thousands of individuals with mental illnesses, many of whom were locked away for decades. Some were subjected to barbaric treatments, and many died under mysterious circumstances.
What's especially creepy about the Trans-Allegheny Asylum is how the sheer size of it, along with its many hallways, is all too reminiscent of a labyrinth. Investigators often report feeling a sense of being watched, and some go on to say that they can sense the bitter rage of the spirits who still call the asylum home. There's one area, known as the lunatic ward, where patients would sometimes scream for hours and hours on end. Some say they can still hear their cries echoing in the halls.
Danvers State Hospital in Massachusetts is another notorious location. Its dark history includes a series of unproven experiments and the infamous electroshock therapy that was inflicted on many of its patients. The building itself has a gothic, oppressive feel, and many people who visited have felt an overwhelming sense of despair and sadness. It's no wonder it's considered one of the most haunted places in New England.
Beck, that feeling of despair is so thick that it's almost tangible when you're there. People often report seeing shadowy figures darting around the corners of their vision. And there are those who have even heard the cries of patients who were once subjected to cruel and inhumane treatments. The most disturbing thing? Some believe that the very walls of the hospital absorbed all the pain and suffering of those who died there, and that those energies remain to this day.
Next, we venture to the infamous Willard Asylum in Willard, New York. This place is known for its dark history of overcrowding and mistreatment. But what makes Willard truly chilling are the hundreds of abandoned personal items left behind by former patients. Everything from old shoes to letters and even diaries, frozen in time. It's like the spirits of these people are still lingering, clinging to their past.
And that's not the only thing that haunts this place. Willard Asylum was home to some of the longest institutionalized patients in the country. Many of them died here, and their spirits are said to remain, wandering the grounds, sometimes calling out for someone, anyone, to help them escape. Some have even reported hearing the faint cries of long-forgotten patients in the dead of night.
Hey, Spirit Seekers! Enjoying the show? Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the Spirit. Leave us a review on Apple or Spotify and share the love. We drop a new video every week on our YouTube channel covering paranormal, conspiracy, high strangeness, and more. Have questions or want to share your own spooky story? Drop us a line at tothespiritpod@gmail.com. Stay spirited!
Now, let's talk about Laurelwood Asylum in Somerset, Pennsylvania. This asylum was known for its harsh treatments and poor living conditions, leaving many patients feeling trapped within its walls. Those who have dared to investigate have reported strange occurrences from cold spots to the sound of chains dragging across the floors, and even objects moving on their own.
By far, the most unsettling thing about Laurelwood is the creeping sensation that you are being watched. Investigators often experience the sensation that someone, or something, is following them through the halls. Some have witnessed fleeting apparitions in the windows, staring out into the darkness as if still trapped within the asylum's grip.
The Norwich State Hospital in Connecticut is another place shrouded in mystery and sorrow. It housed thousands of patients during its operation, and its dark history includes accusations of abuse and neglect. After the hospital's closure in the late 90s, paranormal activity began to escalate. Visitors report hearing unexplainable sounds like heavy breathing, whispers, and even screams echoing through the halls.
Many of those who worked there, especially in the more remote sections, said they would sometimes hear doors opening and closing on their own. But the most chilling reports came from the old psychiatric wards, where people claimed to hear the voices of former patients pleading for help. Voices that still carry the weight of a life lost within the asylum.
The Kings Park Psychiatric Center on Long Island is notorious for its abandoned buildings, many of which have been left to decay. But it's not just the dilapidated structures that make this place terrifying. It's the persistent reports of paranormal activity. Many former staff and visitors describe hearing the sounds of patients crying out from the windows, even though no one has lived there for decades.
What's especially eerie is that the spirits seem to be very active around the old wards, where treatments were often the most cruel. Some have witnessed shadowy figures moving through the halls, and others have heard loud bangs and rattles, as if something or someone is trying to get their attention, perhaps as a warning to leave.
Finally, we end with the Greystone Park Psychiatric Hospital in Parsippany, New Jersey. A stunning Gothic building, Greystone operated for over a century, but its reputation is marred by countless stories of mistreatment and neglect. It's said that many of its patients were subjected to cruel medical experiments, and their suffering lingers in the halls.
Greystone is one of those places where the air feels thick with the past. Visitors often feel dizzy or overwhelmed, especially when they venture near the old isolation cells. Disturbing sightings involve dark figures standing at the end of hallways, disappearing as quickly as they appear. Some speculate that the spirits here are simply trying to make sense of their lives, or their deaths.
As we've learned tonight, the spirits of those who've suffered in these asylums have not forgotten their pain. And they are still here, waiting for someone to listen. Thank you for joining us as we explored these haunted locations in the Northeast. A special thank you to Peter for helping us uncover the chilling details behind these stories. If you dare to visit these places, remember, some stories refuse to stay buried.
There's so much more to uncover, Beck. These locations are just the surface of what the Northeast has to offer. Who knows what other forgotten places are out there waiting for their own stories to be told.
Until next time, dear listeners, stay curious, stay cautious, and keep an eye on the shadows.
To the spirit
Podcast.
supernatural science
Aliens. I'm ghost.
psychic mystic
Spirit.
divine source heaven the dead. It's magic.